Honestly, some things to me are truly baffling. Some things to me I just don't get. Let's talk about this. Back in a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, this is Jan. Welcome to the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Nice to see you. Hope everybody is doing well. Just going to jump right into the point. Some things in life I just cannot believe, do not get, totally baffling to me. All right, let's talk about one such incident. Not long ago, when I was waiting patiently for an appointment, I had, you know how like you carry a phone with you, you scroll, 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 you watch those scroll, scroll, scroll type channels, if you will. And there was something that looked like it could have been interesting to watch on there. So I usually normally don't waste my time on that type of thing, but that's just me. Everybody's different. But this one brief video on that other channel that you could scroll, scroll, scroll till your finger wears down, the person on the channel, on their channel, on that other platform, never heard of in my life, they would be rating the viewer. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sitting here giving you my time, watching you, and you're pointing your finger at the viewer, literally like making fun of people and things of that nature. I said, bye, E, just like that, just went right off. But I said to myself, this is kind of baffling. You expect the courtesy, that person, whoever that person is, was, whatever, that person berating, puts down, basically putting down, almost seems like they're yelling at. And I'm like, I don't believe it. So to me, baffling. Now, the real baffling thing would have been if I remained there and watched the entire thing, which I did not. The minute I picked up the vibe that it was like going in that direction, bye, E. That's what I did because time is precious. I'm not going to waste my time on nonsense like that. So that was a baffling thing for me. I'm telling you, it's just baffling thing. Another thing that baffles me are when people say things like how, economically speaking, boy, this is just getting so much better. Everything's, yeah, yeah, really? No, the numbers are not telling me that. Not only numbers, trips to the grocery store, the bill at the end of the day, how much I fork out of pocket extra every single month. I am very, very interested in those numbers and I look at them. So I know that that's nonsensical. So again, in a way, it baffles me, but in a way, it doesn't surprise me that some people are trying to paint that in my honest, incorrect, inaccurate picture. That's just the way I feel. All right. So those two things totally baffle me. But the next thing also baffles me. Okay. Now, did you think you were going to get away with me not mentioning stockpiling on a Friday? Sometimes I don't talk about stockpiling on Friday, even if I call it Stockpile Friday chat, most of the time. But there are some Fridays where I'm not discussing directly stockpiling. But I want to talk about baffling me. It baffles me, for example, if people have a 2 week window, for example, they hear on the Weather Channel, for example, some sort of a weather channel, not a specific weather channel, but some sort of a weather channel. They're getting 2 weeks, practically 2 weeks warning that, for example, a severe hurricane is going to land in their area or very serious tropical storm, things of that nature. 2 week window, yep. And I bet you think I'm making this up, but I could attest to this that back in 2012, I believe it was 2012 or the end of 2011, around that period of time, late fall, 2 week window of opportunity to stock up on water, to stock up on basic essential foods, canned goods, even for people who don't normally do things like that. A 2 week window of warning. 2 weeks is 14 days last time I checked. So again, people were ignoring it. They're a handful. My mom and I did not ignore it. We went to the grocery store on and off for the 2 weeks prior, and we carried up a couple of bags of our, stockpile and groceries that way. That's what we did for the 2 weeks prior. This was not a shocker. This was no great surprise. Now, either people are not listening or paying attention, even if a person, let's pretend a person is not watching the news on a consistent level as far as being up to date with weather. Certainly, phones today put things on alert, and almost everybody and their cousin and their niece and nephew, for example, everyone seems to have a smartphone readily available. So, to me, this has been a very obvious thing, lots and lots of warning, not like yesteryear where you might have had a vague warning. I don't know how the folks did it back in the old days. They relied on weather vanes and maybe the way an insect would crawl around somewhere. And people really did their very best, but they knew. And they prepared. Funny, funny, funny. Here we have all the warnings we need, all the information we need. And what do many people do? Completely ignore it. So I happened to say to my mom, I said, yeah, but guess what, Mom? Predictably, they're going to show you on the news the last minute shoppers, the ones who finally caught on or procrastinated so long. Now, I do understand there may be a few people who are broke and they couldn't get their check and they had no choice at that time but then to shop like at that time. This is why even low income people and a lot of low income people are very careful and do put a lot of stock away for the times of that nature, which is great. And then there are a lot of people who have a good income and just don't take the time to stock up. So why am I bringing all of this up? I'm bringing all of this up because that's one of the things that, for example, could be something that truly is baffling to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe somebody out there could, tell me, why it makes a lot of sense to procrastinate on certain issues like that. I don't get it. So here's another trick to keep in mind. Let's say a person is in the habit of spending up to $5 a day on outside coffee. Not judging, you know how I feel about it. I'd rather pay a quarter, but that's me. But they might be the same person that says, well, I can't afford a stockpile. Again, another baffling issue. That person could take the $5 just one day out of their 5 day a week habit of outside coffee, just one cup of coffee, have it at home, or wait till you get to the office and get it for free. Okay, just that one day, just one day out of the week. Take the $5, go to $1.25 store and buy 5 grocery items to stockpile versus one paltry cup of coffee. Yeah. You see where I'm going with this? So when people ignore warnings of really important stuff, honestly, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.